Today we're diving into something you might have seen online. Scary headlines saying Yellowstone National Park is closed because of a massive surge of earthquakes. Is a supervolcano about to blow? Let's find out what's really going on. So, first things first, is Yellowstone closed?
The answer is a big, simple no. The park is open and people are visiting right now, enjoying the geysers and watching the bison. Those rumors you saw online are just that. Rumors. They're not true. Always make sure to check the official Yellowstone National Park website for real, up-to-date information. But what about the earthquakes? Is Yellowstone shaking more than usual? Well, let's talk about what Yellowstone actually is. Imagine the park is like a giant pot of soup simmering on a stove. Underneath the ground, there's a huge chamber of hot, molten rock called magma. This is what heats up all the water to create amazing things like the Old Faithful geyser. Because of all this underground heat and pressure, the ground in Yellowstone is always moving a little bit. It's like the lid on that simmering pot of soup rattling. These little movements are what we call earthquakes, and guess what? They happen all the time in Yellowstone. It's totally normal. Scientists who study the park expect to see between 1,000 and 3,000 earthquakes there every single year. Think of it like this. If you live somewhere it snows, you expect to see snowflakes, right? Seeing a few snowflakes doesn't mean a massive blizzard is about to bury your house. In the same way, seeing earthquakes in Yellowstone is just part of its normal, everyday behavior. It tells us the park is alive and active, which is what makes it so special. Now, sometimes these earthquakes happen in groups, which scientists call a swarm. An earthquake swarm is when you get a bunch of small earthquakes happening in the same area over a few days or weeks. This might sound scary, but it's also very common in Yellowstone. It's usually just the Earth's crust stretching and adjusting, like when you stretch your arms after a long nap. It doesn't mean the supervolcano is getting ready to erupt. So how do we know all this? We have amazing scientists called geologists who are like detectives for the Earth. They have special tools all over Yellowstone that measure everything. They have seismographs, which are like super sensitive ears that listen for even the tiniest ground shakes. They also have GPS stations that can measure if the ground is swelling up or sinking down, even by just a tiny bit, like the width of your fingernail. They even use satellites in space to watch the park from above. All this information goes to the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, or YVO for short. The scientists at YVO watch this data 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are the world's top experts on Yellowstone. If there were any real danger, they would be the very first to know and the very first to tell everyone. They have a color-coded system to let us know the status. Right now, and for a very long time, Yellowstone has been on green, which means normal. Everything is behaving just as expected. For a super eruption to happen, and listen closely because this is important, scientists would see some really dramatic warning signs. They wouldn't just see a few extra small earthquakes, they would see thousands of powerful earthquakes shaking the ground violently. They'd see the ground itself rise up by several feet, not just a few inches. They'd also see huge changes in the geysers and hot springs, with new ones bursting out of the ground and steam vents roaring like jet engines. We are seeing none of that. Absolutely nothing even close. The last super eruption at Yellowstone was over 630,000 years ago. That's an incredibly long time. To put that in perspective, modern humans didn't even exist back then. Scientists say the chance of another super eruption happening in our lifetime, or even our grandchildren's lifetime, is extremely, extremely small. You have a much, much higher chance of being struck by lightning. So why do these scary rumors spread so fast online? Well, Yellowstone is fascinating, and the idea of a supervolcano is kind of like a real-life movie monster. It's exciting and a little bit scary, and that makes people want to click and share. But it's our job to be smart about what we see online. When you see a headline that makes you feel scared or shocked, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this from a trusted source like a science agency or a major news organization? If it's from a random website or a social media post, it's probably not true. The real story of Yellowstone isn't about a disaster waiting to happen. It's about an incredible, living, breathing place that scientists are learning more about every single day. It's a natural laboratory that teaches us how our planet works. The earthquakes are just a part of its personality, like a cat's purr. It's a sign that it's healthy and active. So to sum it all up, no, Yellowstone is not closed. No, there isn't a dangerous surge of earthquakes. And no, The supervolcano is not about to erupt. The park is just doing its normal, rumbling, bubbling thing, just like it has for thousands of years. The scientists are watching it closely and everything is okay. Next time you see a scary headline about Yellowstone, you'll know the real story. You can even explain it to your friends and family and help stop the rumors from spreading. You can be a science detective too. Thanks so much for watching and for learning with me today. It's always better to look at the world with curiosity instead of fear. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure into science. See you in the next video. Bye.